Welcome to the podcast. Today we're diving into a fascinating reflection from an individual who has lived in Forest Lake, Minnesota for over 25 years. This piece offers a unique perspective, contrasting the town's spiritual heritage with the current political landscape, particularly through the lens of defense policy.
That's right, Noah. The author describes Forest Lake as a sanctuary, noted for its beautiful lake and surrounding forest. What's particularly striking is its connection to Yogananda, the spiritual teacher who traveled the U.S. sharing messages of Eastern philosophy and unity consciousness. In 1927, he wrote a poem called Aurora Borealis there, inspired by the northern lights when they exploded in the sky. It's a poem of wonder, awe, and authentic curiosity to explore the unknown. The town even holds a Guinness World Record for paddleboard yoga, honoring his contribution.
It's a powerful image of peace and spiritual exploration. Yet the author then introduces a stark contrast. The current Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, who was also raised in Forest Lake. Hegseth, as the author notes, seems to advocate for military intervention and the use of force, even pushing to rename his department the Department of War. This seems to fly in the face of the very idea of war prevention that the author suggests we desperately need.
Precisely. The author hopes Hegseth has considered the wisdom that comes from the movie The Fog of War, which features Robert McNamara, the longest-serving Secretary of Defense. McNamara's #1 suggestion for approaching international conflicts is the need to listen deeply and empathize with the enemy. He clearly illustrates the unintended consequences of acting without this empathy and the ultimate threat to humanity's continuation.
McNamara's insights are profound, especially when he discusses the Vietnam War. The author points out that McNamara believed the war was based on wrong assumptions, initially seen as a battle between democracy and communism, but later understood to be just a civil war. This highlights the danger of misinterpreting conflicts.
Indeed. The director of The Fog of War later made a film about Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld, the second longest-serving person in this position. Rumsfeld, in contrast to McNamara, operated differently, moving to a mindset of known with an assumptive conclusion from what is unknown. The author uses the example of Rumsfeld pushing the notion that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, leading to an invasion based on this false assumption, a devastating mistake we later discovered.
This brings us to a critical point the author makes about our interconnected world. Given the undivided nature of air quality, water quality, the quality of the food we grow, the global spread of disease that knows no boundaries, and the ignorance to the devastating effect of nuclear fallout, the author argues that current leadership's saber-rattling comes from naivety and inexperience. It ignores the wisdom for empathy and the skills needed for war prevention.
Absolutely. The author laments that we seem to lack the resources to diffuse international tensions through advanced communication skills, similar to those used by Yogananda in his teachings or by John F. Kennedy's team when diffusing the conflict in 1962 with the Cuban Missile Crisis. That incident is presented as a prime example of effective diplomacy.
The Cuban Missile Crisis is a powerful example. The author specifically mentions how the former ambassador to Russia deeply understood the Russian leader's position, recognizing the showdown and seeing the only way out was to give each leader a way out, a way to go back to their people and say they won. The great speechwriter Ted Sorensen put together a letter from JFK to Nikita Khrushchev that provided this option, averting nuclear annihilation. This is where McNamara's wisdom truly shines from this incident.
It's a testament to skilled diplomacy. Yet the author notes a disturbing trend today, mentioning a Netflix movie called A House of Dynamite, and observing that we seem to avoid any discussion about nuclear annihilation. In a time when we need the most skilled diplomacy to help all world leaders see the futility of ever winning a war through nuclear means, we find many world leaders craving for more and more power to blow the world up several times over.
This illusion of winning in a nuclear age is deeply concerning. The author concludes by emphasizing our interconnection, the shared need for clean air to breathe, clean water to drink, and healthy land to grow our food. They suggest that only when those with excessive wealth and power wake up to the dangerous game they're playing can we return back to a sense of stewardship for this beautiful planet that we've been given the opportunity to live on. It's a call for a fundamental shift in perspective from conflict to collective responsibility.